Hi everyone, this is Mehul Mehta and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's podcast, we have a very special guest, the CEO of Quant Connect, an innovative leader in the world of algo trading, who is trying to build a platform which offers cutting-edge solutions to traders and quant financial analysts across the globe. So I'm very excited to do this podcast, and thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you. It's really good to be here. I appreciate the invite.
Right.
Um,
So yeah, can you share the story behind Quant Connect? Because in this podcast, I want to cover like what was the story behind building this platform and like a lot of things on the interview perspective. Because I see like a lot of people, a lot of students do apply to Quant Connect. So I just wanted to understand this whole experience in this podcast. Like, what do you look in students' resume, and how's your like what kind of interview projects or something like that do you expect? So before going into the depth, I just want to understand like what's the story behind Quant Connect.
sure. Yeah. So I'm a biomedical engineer from New Zealand, and I've always had a passion for the markets. And uh, 2010, I was living in Chile. I was doing some humanitarian work at the time, and there was a lot of downtime in between jobs. And so I was using that time to start trading originally, and then building an automated platform for myself. So just like all engineers tend to do, they go about this process of building their own backtesting platform. And I just got totally enthralled with it. And I was living, on a nice apartment in Chile. It's like cheap rent and good internet. And I was just coding 6, 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, building these algorithms and building this algorithm research platform. And it took years. Like it took a solid 2 years just to get multiple iterations of algorithms like trading and learning from my mistakes and eventually like overfitting a bunch of strategies and then undoing those and trying to build other algorithms and learning about risk control and all this process. And it was at the kind of end of that, we've raised money, we're trading in Chile, and I thought there was a real opportunity to provide this ecosystem, this platform that we built to other people. And so there was this grant program in Chile at the time called Startup Chile. And we applied to a grant, we got a grant, and we just sort of bootstrapped Quant Connect out of a tiny, tiny little office for the longest time on this $40,000 research grant. Yeah, it was really fun. And then I'd fly back and forth to New York, meeting investors and going to conferences and things like that. And the whole time, like coding the platform and building the different infrastructure pieces. Um,
Right.
yeah.
So you yourself have built the whole like platform. I understand like in the initial like were you the only developer that was working on this platform?
There was by 2013 there was another developer, but for the first 2, 3 years it was just myself and the other developer, and at least 3/4 of my code's being deleted at this
Okay.
point, replaced with better code. So
Right.
yeah, but there's still traces of it all over. So but
Wow.
I love the
Mm.
engineering side too. So.
Wow. That's amazing. That's phenomenal. So like I also want to understand because you are trying to build a platform, so there's a lot of things, lot of skill set that you like look in a candidate. So I just want to understand like what skill sets are important for being successful at Quant Connect. Like what do you think are important skill set?
There's skill sets important to Quant Connect, and there's skill sets important to, in general, the industry. So I think in general, the industry is just being adaptable and being flexible to solve the challenge that's presented to you in the best possible way. For Quant Connect, it's the same thing. We want people to be adaptable and flexible, but we specifically have 3 stacks of technology. So we have our research quantitative stack. So you must be really good at Python and statistics and the quant side of the ecosystem. And then on the back end, we have two other stacks. One's a front end technology stack. So it's like TypeScript and databasing and infrastructure, scaling infrastructure like Kubernetes and that sort of thing. And then on the other side is our lean algorithmic trading engine. So that's the very large open source project that we maintain. It's called Lean. And that is a algorithmic trading engine that pulls in all sorts of different pieces of data and then does all of the modeling on the assets in the that you're trading. And then it has connections down to brokerages so that you can sort of build these algorithms in 10 lines of code, and all of the connectivity to load the data and send the trades is all done. And so that's lean, and that's a C sharp based tech stack. So yeah, broadly it's like engineering, quantitative, and front end technology stacks, and we hire in all three.
Oh, okay. So like what kind of programming language does your team uses? Is it like Python? I understand C sharp is one of them. So is it like C++? Because I see a lot of firms using C++ in the trading world, but again, a lot of firms are open to Python because of its friendly packages. So like I'm just curious, what does your platform, in the background, like what do they use?
Yeah, so a lot of quant research will be in Python, and so our quant team are the strongest in Python. Um, the lean algorithmic trading engine is mostly in C sharp, but then you connect to C++ libraries and Java packages, and broadly, that's all just sort of the C family. That all of those languages look the same. And so if you know C or C++ really well, you can program in Java and C sharp and just sort of move back and forth between them. And then on the front end, we use this TypeScript. It's a really powerful JavaScript typed language. Um,
Right.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, sure. Because I was always confused, like, because everyone used to say, if you want to make into algo trading, you should know C++. And I always, because I'm not from a computer science background, I come from an electronics background, and I am good with Python. So at
yeah,
least quant research is something, yeah, I mean, now I understood because you have a developer team and a quant researcher
right,
team, and they both uses different programming language. So
right.
like, I'm just curious, like when you hire a candidate for quant developer or quant researcher, like what do you look in a candidate while interviewing?
Uh, Probably most important is a real sense of self-determination. Um, so a lot of people we like to see, like you get up, you do something, you figure out what needs to be done, and you go and do it. That you don't need to be told what to do. Maybe you could be guided, like if you come up with your own to-do list of how to do it, you can get some input into what the to-do list is. Um, and those sorts of people are able to take a project, like here, do some research on NLP sentiment, and then figure out the right way to get all the way through to the end with a research report published and distributed to all the users. Um, and it's really nice when people, for example, uh, if they hit a roadblock, they need to sort of stop and ask for help. You, it's really common for people to just stop and do
Yeah,
nothing and just sit there.
yeah,
You want people who would get up and jump around and make noise and say, "Hey, I want to get this project moving." Like, the people who are measured by their success and by the completion of their project. Um, it's not like a paper that you have to take or a language you have to know or anything like that. It's an attitude and a willingness to do stuff
right,
aggressively. Just to go and get stuff done as much as
right.
possible. So yeah.
But still, like, because like when you hire a let's say you hire a quant developer, you still might expect, few things out of a quant developer, right? That he should be good with programming. Is there any expectation when you hire a quant researcher or quant developer? Or like you are very open in the interviews, you just want to know more about the, like the person and how his attitude is. So like I'm just curious.
Yeah, a lot of those other things like learning programming will be the result of having a do attitude. So you have an interest in robots, whatever, you know, and so you sit there one day and think, hey, I want to build a robot. And then you think, how do I build a robot? I need to learn programming. I need to learn design. I need to get some motors. I need to get some batteries. And then, like, I don't know how to program. So how do I learn to program? I go and find a tutorial. I start doing the tutorial. I learn to program. I build my robot. It's like,
Right.
it's just people who, all of the rest will just fall into place, like learning to program or learning electronics and all of that. That's the result of a strong bias for action because
Yeah,
you have to do something to build the robot or
right.
publish the quant research. Or, yeah, but there is, I suppose, there are some core things that are a little bit harder and take a long time to learn. That is really nice when candidates come with those things baked in, and that's programming. Takes a long time to learn, and statistics for the quant team, like a solid understanding of statistics and the way to think in aggregate, statistically, the way to think statistically is something that's a little bit hard to learn on the job. So that sort of thing, they should have that by the end of their degree, though, in theory.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood. Also, like I know that Quant Connect receives a lot of applications whenever you open any opportunity. So, like, what kind of what kind of projects do you really like in a resume? Because people do, of course, portfolio construction, algo trading projects. Then they have a lot of risk management projects, fixed income modeling projects. So, like, what kind of projects do you enjoy the most, like having in the resume, or like you have no preference for that?
We in entrepreneurship, there's a saying: people are either missionaries or mercenaries. And you can think of, missionaries as people who go live, get paid nothing and go to another country and do things. And then mercenaries, of course, people are paid to get something done. We are looking for missionaries who love lean and love our mission and love Quant Connect. And so almost all of the team has been hired from people who were on the platform, like just crazy about the platform. For example, for quant research, it's like building algorithms, building great algorithms, sharing them to the community. We've had a bunch of people who have started up careers um, uh, doing consulting with clients to build quant connect algorithms, that sort of thing. And we have done internships too, sort of old school internships where you just filter people and hire them. Um, and the first step in the application process is go build a Quant Connect algorithm. Just
Right.
like if you don't have an account on Quant Connect and you haven't built a Quant Connect algorithm, we just do the application because it's really those people are more they might be looking for a quant bank job, or or they're sending out their CV to thousands of people. They don't have any time to actually apply to one job. But if somebody loves Quant Connect so much that they're going to spend 20 minutes making a Quant Connect algorithm, yeah,
Okay.
we'll totally give people the time
Okay.
and consider them seriously. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, and like, how's your interview process? Because every firm has a different interview process. So, like, how does the interview process of Quant Connect looks like?
We're very focused on people who can get stuff done and people with the talents, and we don't really look too much at their resumes or anything. So, for example, that interview, the first step might be like make a Quant Connect algorithm. If it comes back and like 50% of them have copied and pasted something from the documentation, so they get thrown out. The other 50% might have had some creative thing where they actually spent some time on it. We would generally give them a paid gig. So it might be like a 2 to 8 hour project, and we'll just agree quickly on an hourly rate and say, hey, go build this. Um, and you've got, a week to build it. Because you've got classes and you've got other things, so you've got some time buffer there. And it's paid. So it's a little project. We'll give you some work and see if you can actually do it. And if you can actually do the work that we provide, then we'll give you another one. And another one and another one. And yeah, and then maybe after a couple of weeks of that, we get to know who you are, we get to know your personality, and see if you're a good fit with the team and you enjoy the work. Like, it's a great way to see if you even enjoy the work as well. So that way we can see if it's a win-win on both sides. Yeah.
Right, right. No,
So it's not
definitely.
very classical. It's not a classical interview technique, no. But it's the same thing. Like, if you go to a quant interview and they give you some hard math problem to solve on a whiteboard and you
Yeah.
can't do it, you're out. It's the same thing, but we just think we'd rather give people paid gigs and see if they can deliver on productive value. Yeah.
Right.
But with high school graduates to full-time software engineering jobs, um, somebody who dropped out of high school, and like, we don't care about your anything,
Right.
your
Okay.
your background, your degree, or yeah. No, if you're like productive and producing powerful source code, then excellent. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And like because I was also told by Dimitri that that the firm provides a good amount of data to students and universities. So like can you tell more about it? Because of when I was in my master's degree, I was really so Yahoo Finance was the only source like from where I could get my data, but it's not the best data, because when you come in the real world, that's where you realize, the data can be messy, or you can have
Yeah.
big chunks of data. So like can you take like tell more about how does Quant Connect help students getting more data or something?
Yeah. I keep stumbling across this analogy recently, but something can be good, fast, or cheap. But you can only pick two. It can't be cheap and fast, or it can only be, and it won't be good. And yeah, so the Quant data is excellent quality, um, and we provide it in the website for free. So you can log in and create a free account, and you'll be able to do US equities back testing on universes of assets. You'll get access to like a quant cloud of compute that you'll be able to use and do your research on, and that's good for 99% of people, especially students. That's good enough for 99% of students. Um, so that's the best way to access free data with Quant Connect. And then we also have a project that we call the academic grant, that if you're doing a master's and you're publishing a paper, um, you can apply for a grant for a paid Quant Connect account. And it's a fully featured, high power Quant Connect account for about 3 to 6 months. And so we did this because in quant finance in general, people are publishing a whole bunch of papers on different strategies, but they rarely share their source code. And when they do, they don't share the data. Like, when you publish a paper, you can't attach the data that you used with it. So there's very little way to replicate the research paper that people are publishing. And so on Quant Connect, you can just share a link to the algorithm that you were writing, and you can literally repeat the results in like 5 minutes just by
Oh, wow.
clicking on the link. So we're hoping that a whole bunch of people will start having research that we can reproduce, and then that'll make the quant industry better and better and better. So we've been giving out academic grants over the last sort of 2, 3 months that we launched the program. And if any of the listeners are writing a paper now and they want to be able to share the results in a way that a future employer or other academics can actually repeat the work that you're doing, they should totally just get a Quant Connect grant, and you'll get a link for
Wow,
it.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, like like I also want to understand, because there are a lot of quant aspirants who wants to enter into the world of algo trading, and not just quant aspirant. There are a lot of people in general who want to enter into the world of algo trading. Like, any advice for them? Like, how can they enter? Because you are in this field for so long. So, any advice for these algo traders, or who have just started their career, or who want to become an algo trader in future?
Hmm. I think it's just become prolific at coding. Um, Coding or research or whatever it is that you're going to do a lot of it. Um, because if there's a 50% failure rate in the research that you're reporting, you really can't afford to spend 6 months working on one thing for it to fail. If you're going to fail at something, fail every week. You know,
Yeah.
produce something constantly and prolifically. And what we see, like for example, we've had interns, they'll come in, they'll do like 4 months with Quant Connect, they'll go back to school, and they almost always end up at like Jane Street or some
Yeah.
major quant firm. It's because we require our quants to be prolific. We have extremely high standards, and the first thing that you do when you get into Quant Connect and start working is community support. But it's not like tech support, turn off your computer kind of thing. It's like our community comes in and they say, hey, I want this algorithm. I need to understand what's broken in my algorithm, or I want to do this pairs trading strategy. And like you have 1 hour to code up this entire pairs trading strategy for this client. And then there's another client and another client. And in a single day, you might be serving like 10 people. And so you have 10 strategies to produce in a day.
Wow.
So you get really good at it, you get really good at serving all of these different users in the Quant community and then helping them build their strategy really quickly. And then, using that in your own life or your own career, you can sort of really get prolific at the work you're doing. Um,
Right. I guess that's the best way to learn anything new, I believe. Like, because when you deal with so many clients, and when you, I guess, work on so many codes, or let's say research work,
yeah,
I guess the learning curve is very steep. So
yeah,
I guess,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so the way I'd recommend to get started with that, even without Quant Connect, is just jump into the Quant Connect forums or our Discord, and there's just a stream of people asking for help. And if you're genuinely passionate about this, just go and help other people. Just jump in and answer their questions and try and beat our AI because our AI is pretty good. And now we're going to be competing with AI. So if you need to provide a better answer than the AI,
Right.
and that will teach you so much. Even for example, the process of doing the research to answer the client question, you'll have to be like going through the documentation, learning the APIs, learning the jargon, the technical concepts, and then
Mhm.
assembling them, testing the strategy so that you can share a working strategy back to the user. And um, yeah, it's intense, but you'll become
Right.
good at it. Yeah.
No, definitely. Thank you for sharing that, because there are a lot of algo traders who want to make into the industry, because they do have the academia knowledge, but again, breaking into the industry is again challenging stuff. So thank you for sharing yeah. Also, like, this question I really wanted to ask from my end, like, as a CEO, right? What has been the most valuable lesson you have learned while leading, Quant Connect?
Right. There's so many.
Okay.
But uh, as a fintech entrepreneur, so it's not really related to quant, but as a fintech entrepreneur, uh, there are some industries that might not be VC industries. And so
Mhm.
Google has this thing they call the toothbrush test, and everybody needs a toothbrush. So it's like
Yeah.
it's ubiquitous, and they'll fund things that pass the toothbrush test. But not everybody needs a quantitative research platform. It's
Yeah.
kind of it's designed for quants and advanced scientists and engineers, etc. And so I think I spent too much time listening and talking to that industry when I should have been listening and talking to my industry, the quants,
Right.
the
Right.
researchers, the clients, and following like the VC's ideas versus the client's ideas, and that was like 2 years or 3 years in 2013. And then since 2017, we've really been focused on what do our users want and what are they paying us to do? And let's build that and make that
Right.
awesome. Um, and so we've just been grinding every single day, making it better and better and better every single day. And we try to work on a small unit of time. I always ask the team to give me any approximations or estimates. They have to be in units of hours. so, so if something's going to take like 3 weeks, I don't want to hear 3 weeks. No, I want to hear you say the hours. How many hours is that going to take? And then how are we going to spend those hours? And it really forces you to think and really eliminate and cut and focus and get things done in a nice time frame. Because it's hard. It's really hard
Yeah.
tech. Um,
No.
but in the quant space, I think probably the diversity of clients and the diversity of strategies has been mind-blowing. Um, we just have 200,000 users now, and
Wow.
they all have different ideas. A lot of the ideas are the same ideas. Like they say, hey, I want to do an SMA cross. It's the first idea that everybody comes up with, like an EMA cross or something. Um, but after that, they kind of explode into this
Right.
variety. So we had to build a platform that could support all of those different ideas. So that's kind of where Quant Connect is, and it's been fun to build. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure like that involves a lot of work because every client coming in with different projects or different ideas,
Right.
and then you have to solve, if they are stuck, and you as quant researchers or developers, if you have to start solving every client's problem, that's a lot of work, I believe. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah. But
So yeah.
but it's really fun. The clients are not typical clients. So it's a lot of fun to work on really hard problems, and we really enjoy it. And um, yeah, we are hiring, and we're just very slow in hiring. So we just take our time and hire the really, really brightest and best people who love Quant Connect. Couldn't imagine
Right.
living without it. So those people are are welcome to apply, and check out Lean, the algorithmic open source project, and make a pull request.
Okay.
And so I'd love to see some pull requests and yeah, get to know people.
Sure, definitely. So thank you so much, Jared. This was really nice talking to you. Got a lot of insights about the world of algo trading, and I'm sure like all the viewers would love this podcast. So thank you so much for taking your time out and doing this show early morning.
No, no problem. It's fine. It's not that early.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet
Sure,
you. Thank you for having me on.
sure. Thank you so much, Jared. Thank you.